Today I wanted to talk about the magical times of the day. Now I'm not necessarily going hour by hour. I know some witches like to do that. I'm going more with like the vague times of the day. So our first time of the day that we're going to talk about is before sunrise. So this is when it's still dark out. This is easier to use in the winter time. Obviously we have a lot more time where it's dark. The sun doesn't come very early. Usually like the deep part of winter, it's not sunrise till almost 8 o'clock. Somewhere around there, you know, it changes day to day, but typically it's around 8 o'clock in the winter, whereas in the summer it's around 6 o'clock that the sun is rising. Magically, this time of the day is great to set your intentions. It's also a good time to do your morning affirmations. It's a great time to do any meditation before you start the day. Usually the house is pretty quiet at that point, depending on how early you're getting up. And then also this is a great time to write down your dreams from the night before. Now what I do is I don't actually write, like with a pen and paper, write it down. I use my phone. I'll write it down in my phone in like the notes app, and then before sunrise I'll typically transfer it over handwritten into my book of shadows. I point over here. You can't even see the book. It's currently on a shelf, but I promise the book of shadows is over here. Then during sunrise slash just the morning hours of the day, this is the time of day to do your manifestation spells or your daily spells. Again, doing the days of the week thing, this would be the time to do it. Also a great time to do your offerings. Great time to do your daily divine dialogue, and also to do a daily reading if that's something you want to include in your like regular practice. Then during the daytime, so this could be anywhere from like 10 until like 4-ish, again depending on the time of the year. This is when you do like the longer spells. So some spells, like the daily candle spell, that one doesn't take that long, really. But if you were doing like a sacred fire spell where you need to build a fire and then you're going to analyze like the flames and the coal, that's gonna take some time. So this would be great to do on like a day off where you have the time to set aside, or spells that have multiple parts to them where it's going to take some time to do. This is the perfect time of the day to do it. It's also great to connect with the elements and to do any kitchen magic. Then we have evening slash sunset. So these are the last few hours of daylight that we've got in a day. Again, in the summertime we have a lot more of this than we do in the winter. So what I like to do is take that time to analyze the card that I pulled that morning and see how accurate it was. If you didn't do your meditation in the morning, or even if you did, if you just want to do shorter meditations, it's another great time to do it. Also great to focus on gratitude, especially for the good things that happen during the day. And also cleansings, especially if you go to a job, it's always good to cleanse before you go to bed. Which brings us to the last time of day, which is night slash bedtime. So for your nighttime or bedtime things to do, first thing is to journal about your day. I like to take that time to analyze the dream that I had the night before. Instead of trying to do it in the morning, I find that once you've got your analytical brain already going from the day, it's a good time to re-look at those. And in the morning you would have just written them down. Now's the time to analyze what it could mean. This is also great for any nightly protection spells. Some people like to recharge like their dream catcher or a like dream little pouch that they keep in their pillowcases. You might also want to recharge like wards and guards and whatnots that you might have set up for protecting your home and your vehicles and stuff, because night is typically when a lot more crime happens. Just tends to be the case. And then lastly, this is a good time to do visualization or guided meditations that are leading you into sleep. There are plenty online. The guy I usually listen to, I think his name is like Michael Seeley, something like that. I listen to him often because I don't even get to where he tells you to start to fall asleep before I'm out. Like, he just has this voice that's just like, okay, night. Like, I don't even think I make it 5 minutes in whenever I put one of his videos on. And even if I'm having a really hard time sleeping and like having a really bad like panic attack or insomnia, eventually he does make me fall asleep. I've never actually hit the end of any of his videos, and they're long, which helps. So I highly recommend him, but there are plenty out there. You can also do it yourself. One example would be to do a kind of bubble around yourself of a different color that you might need. A lot of people use like blue or purple to help you sleep. You might also guide yourself into a meditation with the intention to fall asleep during your meditation. And then of course, if you're a night owl, you could also translate being close to like when the moon is at the like middle part of the sky, like all the way up. That would be a good time to do any magical workings. You might be building your ritual fire or doing like a full moon ritual or something like that. I'm not a night owl. I really hate doing that. I like sleep. I am a sun child. I like to be up when the sun's up and down when the sun is down. And so in the winter, that means I want to be snuggled up in bed most of the hours of the day. And Slowly as the sun starts coming out more, then I'm like, I guess I could get up more. But like, I don't love to do ritual at night. It's usually loud. Morning nighttime versus evening nighttime are very different, because in the morning, we're talking like 3, 4 o'clock. Most people have gone to bed, and like the morning shift people aren't usually loud. Nighttime, like 10, 11, 12, people are still out partying. So you have drunks, kids screeching, dogs barking, lots of traffic. It's really loud. So I don't like to really do any magic at that time. I prefer, if I'm gonna do nightly rituals, it's gonna be in like the 3 a.m. era, not like 11, 12 o'clock. That comes down to personal preference, I think, but it just tends to be that it's really loud and it's kind of hard to do ritual when you have lots of background noise. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about the magical times of the day. Again, some people will break it down per hour. I just do the vague times of the day because regardless of the season, it typically applies. I'd love to hear how you plan your magical times of the day, and if you do any magic specific to a time of the day, or if you just kind of fit it in whenever you can. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names here on the screen. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.